You gotta have dedication. You gotta be motivated. You gotta have some passion. You most definitely gotta sacrifice. One of the most important things you gotta do is sacrifice. You most definitely gotta have faith. And on top of everything, if you persevere, you're gonna always come out on top.
The Tom Screen podcast is owned and made possible by Ethical Marketing Service. If your business is struggling with Google or Facebook ads, maybe you're frustrated figuring it out or there's a performance issue, Ethical Marketing Service has worked on hundreds of accounts and we can help in this area. We offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, and for every direct account we look after, we sponsor a child in a developing nation with food, water and education. If you would like to find out if we can help, it's a free, no salesy consultation call, and the link is in the description. Enjoy the episode. Thomas Green here with Ethical Marketing Service. On the episode today, we have Ronnie Coleman. When Ronnie was a professional bodybuilder, he was a winner of the Mr. Olympia title for 8 consecutive years. He is widely regarded as the greatest bodybuilder of all time and as the most dominant bodybuilding physique ever to grace the stage. Winner of 26 IFBB professional titles, he's also renowned for his combination of size, conditioning, and extremely heavy workouts, also making him the strongest bodybuilder and Mr. Olympia of all time. Ronnie, welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me.
It is my pleasure. What goes through your mind when you hear those words?
I was just thinking when you said that, because I've heard that so many times now. When I was going through, I tell people that when I was winning all those Olympia championships, I never really enjoyed them because I was always getting ready for the next one after I won one. So I didn't really start thinking about stuff, until I kind of retired. Like, oh wow, I can't believe I did that. So it's real humbling to hear it, and it's real kind of unbelievable to hear it too.
Well, it's actually
I worked
slightly
real hard
tweaked,
at it.
but it's lifted from Wikipedia, and Wikipedia is like an objective source, so they don't allow salesmanship in Wikipedia. So that stuff is factual. So I'm just interested to know how you feel about that.
Yeah. I've never went to Wikipedia before, but I guess it must be true since I hear it a lot these days.
Well, I got the first question that I planned on asking you is a real simple one. You ready for it?
Oh yeah.
How do you become the best in the world at something?
Well, I try to tell people you need a few principles in life to go by. The first one is got to have a lot of determination, topped off with a whole lot of motivation. You got to have passion for something. You got to have passion for it. The more passion you have, the more you're going to love it. And one of the most important things you got to do, you got to be able to sacrifice. If you can make sacrifices like no other person, you can be just about any kind of champion you really and truly want to be. And I always tell people, perseverance. If you can persevere at something, because there are always times where, at least with me, when I was coming up, there were a few times I kind of wanted to give up. I didn't have the motivation that I thought I had, but I came around real quick because there was a whole lot of passion involved in what I was doing. So perseverance, motivation, determination, dedication, and I always got to tell people also, if you got some faith in you, you could always succeed too. You have all these principles and you are able to hold on to all of them at one time. I think you can accomplish anything in life that you want to. Because not only did I apply all these principles to being Mr. Olympia, I kind of applied them when I was in college too. I had to have all of these things because not only did I go to school, I also played football. So I had to have a lot of motivation, a lot of determination, a lot of passion for what I was doing. And I had to make some real hard sacrifices. I mean, some of the hardest ones ever. Some of the ones that I thought that I couldn't even make. You know, like there were a lot of times that I wanted to go party. There were a lot of times where I wanted to have a girlfriend to hang out with, but the sacrifices I made are what got me through college, what got me through all those Olympia champions, even what got me through working full time for the police department. So I tell people, if you have all these principles and you hold on to them wholeheartedly, you can do just about anything you want to in life. And that's kind of reason why I was able to work full time with the police department and full time bodybuilding, because I had all those principles wrapped up into one at all times too. At all times.
Thank you for that. I think it's a great answer and leads me nicely onto the next question, which is I read the book. If you wouldn't mind confirming the title of the book, that would be great.
Yeah, buddy.
Had to be done.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the book, I stumbled on like a gem, really, which is your rules for life, which I actually think could potentially be its own book. So I kind of feel like there's potential for a book by Ronnie Coleman on your rules for life. But the first one is Open Your Eyes.
Yep.
And I think it touches a little bit on the concept of luck, which not many people talk about who are great achievers. So what's your thoughts on number one, Open Your Eyes?
Yeah. It's one of the biggest life lessons that, pretty much had to learn in life, open your eyes, have a vision for what you want to do and what you want to be. Luck is probably maybe 10-20% of it, but it's also a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication. And like I was saying earlier, all those principles that I mentioned earlier, that also becomes involved with it too.
Well, thank you for that. And I think one of the things you mentioned is that if it weren't for looking out for those lucky opportunities, you may not have been a bodybuilder at all, which is really interesting.
Exactly.
Number two is to be grateful. Any thoughts there?
Yeah. I've never took anything for granted. I've always been real humble about everything. I've always appreciated, everything that I've gotten in life, because for the most part, I've always had to work extremely hard for everything that I've gotten, from, graduating college, moving to Dallas from Louisiana, coming out here, finding a job when I didn't have one, and worked at Dominoes Pizza for 2 years, delivered newspapers for a couple of years there. And the lucky part about it is what I was talking about earlier, open your eyes, is I got this job at the police department. Had it not been for that job at the police department, I never probably would have become a bodybuilder. So, I always try to tell people, be grateful for everything that you have in life, because anything could be taken from you at any moment. You never know. You always got to realize how fortunate you are, to have the thing that you have.
Why do you think that you're able to be grateful, but maybe some people might struggle to do that?
Uh, you know, I've seen a lot of stuff, working for the police department. Some people are just think that, they're owed certain things because, of who they are. They are not grateful for the things that they have in life. Like I said, you the thing that you have, they can be taken from you at any moment. You never know when something bad is going to happen to you. You can just be riding down the street and something can fall out of the sky and hit you on the head. You can be riding down the street and a car across the lane and run head on into you. And all that you ever worked for in life, it's gone in just that blink of an eye. So anything bad can happen at any time, So that's why I say I always be grateful for what you have. There's always somebody else out there that's doing a whole lot worse than you. Always, no matter what you think. There's always somebody doing a whole lot worse.
Well, the next one I think is probably my favorite one, and also something that I think I'd describe you as, which is number 3 is be relentless. What are your thoughts about that rule?
I have a saying when I was winning Olympia: if you always do what you always done, you'll always get what you always got. And what I'm pretty much saying is, I had this formula for winning the Olympia, and it wasn't nothing easy about it. It was hard, but I figured if I did it every single time that I got ready for a show, then I'd always get the same result. And for 8 years, 8 long years straight, it happened that way. So I always say, be relentless about what you're doing when you're trying to accomplish a certain goal, trying to achieve a certain goal, and you'll always achieve it.
Thank you for that. And this next one sort of reminds me of your when I watched the documentary, the first time you win Mr. Olympia, which is why I would like to talk to you about this separately. But rule number 4 is to have passion.
Yeah, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. That's one of my principles for being successful. Have passion. If you got passion for something, you kind of like never really work a day in your life. That's what I had when I was, bodybuilding. That's what I had when I worked for the police department. I I truly loved and looked forward to what I was doing each and every single day. I had a ton of passion for both of them. And it made it that much easier. Even though, what I was doing was kind of hard, difficult, and dangerous, I still had a lot of passion for it. And I still look forward to doing it each and every single day because of that passion and that love that I had for doing it. And for me, it was like I wasn't working. I was doing what I loved to do. I had a lot of passion for it. So I loved doing what I was doing. That's what I mean by having passion. That's why I was able to do what I was able to do too, because I had passion for doing both of them at the same time, even though both of them were extremely hard. I had a lot of fun doing it. A lot of fun.
You got any thoughts for people who maybe haven't found their passion? Anything that springs to mind for you there?
You know what? I try to tell anybody that will halfway listen to me, God put us all here for a reason. Most of us, we have a career and we have a calling. A career is something that you do, what you go to school for, pretty much. You get out of school, you look forward to doing this job because that's your career. But your calling is something that you don't really think you can make money at it because you have so much fun doing it, and it kind of comes easy to you, but you still have to work hard at it. You still have to work hard because it's your calling. You know, and my career was working for the police department. My calling was being a bodybuilder. But still, all in all, I had a lot of passion for doing both of them. And I truly feel that each and every single one of us have that purpose in life. We got a career and we got a calling. God did not put us here just for us to be here. We have a purpose. Everyone, all of us, no matter what it is, we
What
have
would
a
you say
purpose.
your calling is now?
Oh, oh, it's still the same. I'm a bodybuilder, for the most part. Uh, Probably gonna be, till the day I die. I'm still going all over, traveling all over the world, doing seminars, doing, personal appearances, and uh, taking tons of photos, signing millions of autographs. So I'm still a bodybuilder, still doing my calling. Ain't
Would you
nothing
say it's
changed.
accurate that you're now sort of a mentor to other people so you can share your knowledge on that topic?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Uh, uh, Mentor, role model, all that stuff. Source of inspiration because uh, I truly enjoy doing what I do.
Well, that
We're
takes us nicely
always
to the next one. Number 5, Ronnie's rule. Number 5, work as hard as you can. You have touched on some of that already,
yeah,
but anything in
yeah.
addition?
Uh, it's kind of self-explanatory. You gotta put like 110% in just about everything you do. I mean, when you're trying to achieve a certain goal, you gotta work as hard as you possibly can every time you get a chance at it. Work as hard as you can and go as hard as you can and put 110% in it. And you will 9 times out of 10 come out on top. Most of the time, 10 times out of 10. I believe. Especially if you work hard enough.
100% in agreement. There is some, shall we say, work-life balance opinions that are coming out at the moment in terms of, whether or not there should be some. I know when I think of this topic, I think like if you're obsessed with a goal that you're trying to meet, then it's not really work. But there are some people who say that you shouldn't work too much because there's a work-life balance consideration. Have you got any thoughts around that topic?
Yeah, I truly believe that, but I think that pretty much goes for a lot of people that don't really enjoy what they do. There are some jobs out there that you don't really enjoy. Like when I worked for Dominoes, I didn't really like doing that. I only did it because I had to. When I was throwing newspapers, I didn't like that either. I only did it because I had to. So yeah, yeah, there are some jobs out there that you really don't want to work that much at. But once you find that job that you really and truly like, I think you should work as hard as you can when you can. And then when it's time, for your break, you should break as hard as you can while you can. You don't want to work all the time. You gotta have some break time in there for sure.
So if it's your dream, work as hard as you can. If it's not your dream, maybe take some breaks.
Yeah. But you should take break in both of them, I think, still. Because like you said, it ain't all good to work hard all the time. You gotta have some break time in there in there too. And I've always enjoyed my break time. I always enjoyed that.
So Ronnie's rule number 6, something that you've referenced already: keep your faith high.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've always kept my faith real high. I've always believed in I was going to always succeed at anything I put my mind to, because I've always had faith in everything that I've done. I've always had faith in everything was going to always just work out the way it was supposed to. Because if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, then, 9 times out of 10, or 10 times out of 10, the end result is going to be achieved if, I believe in my mind, and I keep my faith that, it's going to be done. It will be done. And it has always gotten done. Always. I've always achieved. I've always, everything has always worked out for the best my whole entire life, because I believed it was going to work out, and it always has. Never wavered, not one iota on my faith. Never.
Well, the next one's really interesting because it's about number 7 is keeping a positive attitude. And I wonder, in your answer, if you could cover maybe if that's possible to cultivate, or you think it's something that you learned in your upbringing.
Yeah, I've always had a positive attitude just about everything I've always done. No matter what it was. If I was doing it, I had this feeling, and I've always kept the attitude that it was going to always work out for the best. And the reason why, because it always did, and I always stayed positive, and I always kept my attitude positive toward everything I've always done. Because I've always believed that if you stay positive about it, then it was going to always work out. And it has always worked out, because, like I said, I've always kept my attitude positive that it was going to work out.
Well, the next one's a very pragmatic one, and I'm interested to know whether you're still doing it now. Number 8, Ronnie's rules: save your money.
Yeah. I've always done that. I still have 3 retirement plans now. Started when I first started working for the police department. Started, saving money, and still doing it to this day. Still have all 3 of them saved to this day. So, yep, I still believe in that one too. Still got
you take
all
that
3 of my
business principle over to your business as well, yeah?
Yeah. I got my degree in accounting, and yeah, I have used it there for sure. So I will always be all right in that aspect of life.
I've seen this one in your other interviews, shall we say, in prep for our conversation. It's number 9 is stay humble.
Yeah. I've always been who I've always been. I've never changed from day one for the most part. I've always just seen myself as just a normal guy, regular guy, just like each and everybody else. I always tell people I'm a regular guy, normal guy. I'm just a little bit bigger. That's all it is to it. Ain't no difference between me and you. We're all the same in this world. Yep, we're all the same.
The last one, and I've also noticed this in your conversations as well, is number 10 is have fun. And some of those videos on YouTube where you're throwing around heavy weight and doing your affirmations, I can see you having a lot of fun there. Any thoughts?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've always believed in having fun because, like I said, if you got passion for something, you got to have fun with it, no matter what it is, you know. If you're having fun with it, that means you're enjoying yourself. And what who wants to be doing things in life where they're not enjoying themselves and not having fun? Because I believe that's what life is all about: enjoying yourself and having fun. You know.
Good. Well, you've referenced dominoes a couple of times in your answers, and I wanted to ask you about the extremes of maybe taking a job at Domino's because they're willing to give you free pizza because you're hard up for cash. And then the other extreme is Mr. Olympia being the best in the world at something where people want to give you money for various different reasons. What do you think about those two extremes going from one to the other?
Oh, yeah, you know, there was a need for both of those extremes at the time that I was doing them. When I was working at Domino's, I really couldn't afford to buy food, you know, so I had to eat pizza for a living. Most of my money went to paying all the bills like car note, insurance, rent, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, phone bill. And I just didn't have a lot of money to buy food with. So, you know, I ate pizza. And when I got tired of eating pizza, I called Burger King, asked them if they were tired of eating hamburgers. And they were like, yeah. So I'm like, well, let's trade. When I got tired of eating burgers, I called Kentucky Fried Chicken, asked them the same question, and I trade with them. So, you know, you just got to find, there's a will, where there's a will, there's a way to survive. And that was my way of survival, you know, eating pizza, hamburgers, fried chicken, and tacos. Because Taco Bell was in that food court too. So, yeah, I know how to survive. I'm a survivor. That's how you make it in life.
Quite an
Surviving.
entrepreneurial trait to go trade with people. I reckon not many people thought of that.
Yeah, it wasn't that hard for me to figure it out. Because I did get tired of eating pizza, and that's probably why I don't eat it today anymore. Because I ate so much back then. For sure, I did. I probably hadn't had Domino's since I worked there either. I always had to get another brand. Besides that, I ate way too much. Well, 2 years eating the same thing just about every day will do that to you, though. At least it did to me.
Well, the yeah buddies and the phrases in the gym to get you to lift the heavy weights. I'm kind of interested to know whether you've used that in other areas of your life and whether you think that there's crossover. So if I started saying, you know, yeah, buddy, when I'm about to take on a business, I don't know, a task or something, is that going to help
Yeah,
you, do you think?
I said it a couple other times before. Yeah, for sure. uh, but you know, I can't think of nothing. You know, a particular reason why I would say it. But you know, if somebody asking me a question that's real simple, yeah, I might just say, you know, yeah, buddy. You know, just to answer that question. but not, yelling at them like I do in the gym.
So do you reckon there's some crossover to be had for other people?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. But not too many of them other phrases though. But for sure for on the year buddy though. Ain't too many times you gonna say ain't nothing but a peanut.
Brilliant.
Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
No, well, that's actually the next thing I'm going to ask you about, and it's a quote from the book and what it means to you. Nothing to it but to do it.
Yeah, I say that quite a bit too, because it kind of makes it easier to do. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Because if you want to get things done, that's the way to go about doing them. Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Have you got any thoughts on goals?
For the most part, I've always set goals that I knew for a fact that I could accomplish. So I always try to tell people to set goals that, are high, but set them where if you put your all into it that you can accomplish it. Like, for me, I'll never set a goal out to be a politician or something like that. 'Cause that ain't something that I'm really trying to accomplish. I really want to accomplish, even though I've had people that try to tell me to do that. But no, I don't think so. That ain't one that I don't think I want to accomplish. One that I'm going to put a whole lot into trying to accomplish. Because it's just not what I want to do. You got to set goals that, something that you really want to do. You got a lot of passion for it, set those types of goals.
Have you got any thoughts on maybe making goals that are slightly out of your reach versus making goals which are more easily achievable?
Yeah. My thing is set goals that are within your reach. That way, you are not likely to be too disappointed when you don't achieve them. Because most all the goals that I've set, I've achieved all of them, because these are goals that I know that I can reach. I know I'm going to have a lot of passion behind achieving them. So I've always tried to set goals that I know that I can reach for a fact, not the unreachable one. Ain't really a whole lot of success behind those types of goals, I don't think.
Any goals you got at the moment?
Not a whole lot. I'm getting ready I got some things that I'm working on right now. Like, I'm trying to be one of the first bodybuilders to come out with like a natural wine, one with, low in carbs, low in calories, something like that. So I want to be one of the first ones to do something like that. So I'm working on that as we speak right now. Coming out with a wine that's, that's good for you. I'll say.
And when do you reckon that's going to be available to the public?
Oh, as soon as I go through the taste test, because in order for something to be good, it's got to taste good. So as soon as I finish the taste test, I think I'll have it wrapped up. Probably within about another 6 months, I'll say. It's going to take at least that long, the taste, go through all these taste tests. Because you just don't want to make something that's, that's good for you that don't taste good. If you want something to be good for you. You want it to taste good too. So that's what that's what I'm in. That's what I'm in the process of doing right now.
Are you going to be sneaking some extra protein into your wine?
If I can, if I get it to taste good, yeah. It's all about taste too. So yeah. So for sure, if I can get protein in there and make it taste good, yeah, I'll do that too. We'll have to wait and see.
Next one is inspired by the book, and that is victories aren't always something good. That's a quote from the book, because losing will teach you more than perhaps winning will. So your thoughts on losing?
Yeah. So I say that because I lost a lot coming up. I lost a lot of time, and it made me appreciate winning that much more. And then sometimes you have to lose in order to know when to quit. So that's when I say losing is probably good for you when it's time to give it up, because there's a time limit on everything that you do, everything. So losing at the end, it probably wasn't that bad for me because it was time to give it up. Time passed by, and I had my good days, and it was time to let somebody else have it. It was
Well,
somebody
the
else's turn.
follow up to this is about your thoughts on giving up, but I think the timeline here is actually before you won rather than at the end of your career. And the quote I think that you said was, "I don't think this is for me, and I'm done with this bodybuilding stuff." Was I think what you said, and the context
Yeah.
is for other people. So maybe someone is thinking about giving up right now. What do you tell them?
Yeah, you know what? That goes back to perseverance. Uh, I said that in 1997. Uh, After I went back to my room, got off stage, I've been bodybuilding for about 7 years, 8 years at that time, and I didn't like the way things were going. I was getting beat by people that I thought would never be able to beat me. And I'm like, oh man, maybe this bodybuilding thing ain't for me. It's time to get this up. And then I said to myself, wait a minute, I can't quit bodybuilding. I got a free membership to the gym. I'll lose my free membership to the gym if I quit. So that's out of the question. Didn't want to lose that for nothing.
Some people may refer to that as a reason why, having a bigger reason why you're doing something.
Exactly. And that's what I did. For sure. But also, that was one of those moments where in life you have to rethink things and reconsider things, and you just have to persevere, keep going.
Well, the next one, I speak to a lot of business people, and sometimes when they've created businesses, I ask them about the first client that they've got or the first customer. And so I want to ask you. It might be a big ask because it's a while ago, but I wanted to ask you about your first professional bodybuilding competition. It's becoming Mr. Texas, and whether you'd be able to tell that story for us.
Oh yeah. That's the reason why I got into bodybuilding. Guy who owned the gym saw me and saw how big I was, and he tried for like 4 or 5 days to get me to do bodybuilding. And I always told him no. And he finally hit me with, I give you this free membership to the gym if you compete in that show coming up It's about 3 months, about 3-4 months away, and I teach you how to pose and everything. Get this free membership. All you got to do is just do this show, and that show was Mr. Texas. And I'm like, oh man, you probably should have led with the free membership. I probably, I probably said yeah to bodybuilding long time ago. And I remember doing that show, and it was like the most fun I had ever had, being on my stage. And I'm like, okay, this bodybuilding thing, this is a lot of fun. And to have a free membership to do it too, this is probably one of the greatest things that ever happened to me. So yeah, that's what that was all about.
Do you remember being nervous, being the first competition?
Nope. No. I wasn't nervous because I was having so much fun and enjoying myself up on stage. So, I had pretty much worked real hard on the diet and, trained to get ready for it. So it was time to have a little fun. I had never done nothing like that in my life before. So I said to myself, I'm going to enjoy myself. I am not nervous. I'm not scared. This is going to be a lot of fun for me. Because I worked too hard to get here, to come here, and to do this. So I'm gonna have fun and enjoy myself, and that's exactly what I did. So there was never any nervous time.
Is it down as one of your, I don't know, significant moments in your career, given it was the first one?
Yeah. It's probably up there, but not as up there as winning my first Miss Olympia, though. Nothing compares to that. Nothing ever will compare to that. But that was a moment in time that will never, ever be produced again, or thought of again, or duplicated again, or compared to anything again.
There's one principle that I wanted to pick up on, which I haven't heard anyone else ask you about. And that is, once you had one, you went to go on and you won many more after your first one, like we covered.
Yeah.
Your reason for improving was because you didn't want other people to catch you. And there is
Exactly.
something in business and maybe in bodybuilding as well, where if you win, you've achieved your goal. And you're not as hungry as you once were because you've achieved what you were trying to achieve. But you went the other way. You were like, well, I'm going to keep getting better and better. And the question is around why. Why did you want to continue winning after you'd won Mr. Olympia?
Because I had so much fun winning the first one. And it was such a big moment in life for me, to win something so big and so monumental and so what can I say, self-deserving, because of all the hard work and dedication that went in winning that first one, that I just couldn't see, doing that again and not winning again, because I had worked so hard to get there and so hard to win that I wanted to win it over and over and as many times as possible because of all the hard work and dedication that went into it. And of course, I was enjoying, the perks that came along with the title also. That was the most important reason why. The money.
So what would you say to someone who worked for, I don't know, let's say 20 years and they sold their business and they're depressed? So they've achieved everything they want and now they're no longer who they previously were. What would you say to that person?
Oh, I had to say to them that they don't know how lucky they are and how fortunate they are. Because to work for so long and be able to still sell something and make a profit at it, don't get no better than that. Don't get no better than that. That's what you pretty much set out. Hopefully, that's what you set out to do in the first place. If you didn't, then you went about it the wrong way. That's all I can say. You went about it the wrong way.
Well, we talked about the first Olympia win, and it's one of those big moments where it's the almost collapsing on stage after you won. I've heard you say that you don't remember much after it, but the question is, what do you remember about those moments before and after? What do you remember?
Well, I don't remember too much of nothing after I won. I didn't remember anything until my girlfriend came on stage and helped me up. That's when my memory came back to me pretty much. But I guess I was just in such an emotional state. It's almost like you kind of faint. You kind of lose consciousness for a minute or two or three or four or whatever, however long I was down there. It's kind of like I lost consciousness for a minute there, and like I said, I didn't come to until I was hipped up, got back on my feet. But as long as I was off my feet, I was out of it. I was totally out, and I guess awake at the same time. if that's such a thing. Well, I had to be, because that's what happened to me.
In
sure.
The documentary, there's this one interesting thing I want to ask you about, and it is they make it look like when you went and asked Kevin for help, and he told you about the tip of the vodka tip. It's sort of like, did some of the people, your colleagues, did they help themselves out of money in a way in the Olympia competition? And my opinion is that you were going to win eventually, just because of the fact that you're talented and your work ethic. But at the same time, they could have delayed it a little bit by maybe keeping it more secretive. And your thoughts basically on helping your competitors. Any thoughts there?
I didn't really help them. They helped me.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because, yeah. That's just the way, some people are, I guess. This probably has a lot to do with with how they were raised. I think, at the time that we came up, that's just the way we were raised, to help each other out. Because, I would have done the same thing had it been them coming to me. So I think, in the era that we were born in the era that we were raised, that's just the way it was, back in those days.
So there's more of an emphasis on character than the outcome of the competition. Yeah. Is that fair?
Exactly. That's okay. That is it, for sure.
Well, I've got my personal feeling is that you've already provided this in the episode, so we could kind of cycle back and go over it. But I wanted to ask for a speech from you on if you could speak directly to someone who is trying to achieve their dreams at the moment, they're struggling. What would Ronnie say to that person who is in the place where you were trying the best you could, but you were struggling? What would you say?
Well, I'd offer my 5, 6 principles for success. Pretty much what I've already went over. You gotta have dedication. You gotta be motivated. You gotta have some passion. You most definitely gotta sacrifice. One of the most important things you gotta do is sacrifice. You most definitely gotta have faith. And on top of everything, if you persevere, you're gonna always come out on top. and you're gonna always be successful if you persevere through it all, because that is most definitely the key. Because had I quit in 1997, like I did in my mind for about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, I wouldn't have persevered, and I wouldn't have been Mr. Olympia that next year. And I wouldn't have never had this success that I have had today. So that's what I would most definitely tell someone about achieving goals and accomplishing goals and being successful in life.
Thank you for that. What do you want your legacy to be?
That what you said when you first introduced me, worked hard at it, was one of the best at it, and one of the greatest at it, pretty much, because I worked extremely hard. If I have to say so myself, I worked so hard that I can't believe how hard I work sometimes, especially at this age. I'm getting on up there, and time has really passed me by. And it's kind of hard to believe I live this long, because it really hadn't seemed that long to me. 58 years can go by like almost in a blink of an eye now. At least it has to me. Well, I tell you, it seemed like just 2 or 3 years ago, I was winning, the Olympia. But in actuality, that was about 20 years ago, 20 something years ago, actually. I won the first one in 98, That was like 22 years ago now. Man, time flies. It really and truly does.
Well, you've been keeping busy with your business, if I'm not mistaken. And as far as I'm
Very
aware,
busy.
no one has
Very
actually
busy.
asked you about the story of your business. So, when does that start, and how does that look for you when you first start your business?
Well, we started out pretty good, to be honest with you. Our first year, we did about 4 million in sales. So I started in 2011, and I started it. I didn't sell in the U.S. for a couple of years, because bodybuilding is real big internationally. So we started international over in Europe, and slowly worked our way here to the U.S. about 2 years later, 2 or 3 years later. And we're steadily building it each and every single day now. We just recently got into GNC. So we are working on like Walmart, Target right now as we speak, and some of the other vitamin stores too. So, we steady building it up each and every single day now, slowly but surely, slowly and surely.
What would you say the biggest challenge of your business has been?
Probably getting in stores like GNC, Walmart, Target, all the other vitamin stores out there. That's the hardest thing to do. Because it's been a long time now. It's been 11 years now, and we're still grinding, trying to get into all those places. And we're getting there real slow, but we're getting there though. That's all that matters. We're getting there.
Maybe your biggest wins?
Probably GNC. Then we got Amazon, and now we are working on Walmart and Target. So I think the biggest win will be once we hit Walmart and Target and those major chains like that.
Okay. Well, I think a lot of people who have seen your story have watched the documentary on Netflix. What do you think of it?
It came out real good. I mean, it was like that was 2017, so that was like 5 years ago. So I mean, it's probably getting kind of old now. Probably time to do another one, an update to that one because that was so long ago now. But it did come out pretty good, and when it first came out, it was pretty big at the time. I mean, real big. I had some major success going on when it first came out. The company grew, I grew, got bigger, got more notoriety. So, like I said, it's probably time to do another one. Like that one is out of date. The kids have got so much bigger now, so much bigger.
Well, I've been waiting, and no one has approached me about creating a song about me. So I'm just wondering, how does that happen? How do you get a song dedicated to you?
Oh, I don't have that yet. I'm working. I'm working on that too. maybe one day. I mean, there was something did. I think we did that one song about a year ago that we did it ourselves though. It wasn't their idea. It was our idea.
Okay.
So we hadn't got to the stage where it was somebody else's idea yet. Still
Well,
working
it
on
did
that
go
one.
on repeat for me. I put it on repeat after watching the documentary, so it was a
Oh yeah.
successful song for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I ain't got that far yet, but hopefully one day I'll get there. Where it's their idea, not mine.
Ronnie, have you got any closing thoughts for us today?
uh, no, because it just be repetitive. Some of my thoughts I've already said. What 2 or 3 times already. So mine are still the same, you know. But I do get asked this question a lot. How do I go about getting into bodybuilding and learning about, nutrition and working out? I always tell people, well, easy way to do that is the way I did it. I had a mentor, or I had a trainer, and I had a nutritionist that that taught me all this stuff because I didn't know anything about bodybuilding when I got into it. I didn't know anything about nutrition when I got into it. I had people that taught me all of this stuff. So I always try to tell people just find somebody who's very knowledgeable about training, very knowledgeable about nutrition, and learn as much as you possibly can from them and take it from there.
Okay.
That's how
Well,
you move up.
thank you for being a great guest today. If people want to follow you or buy one of your products, where do they go?
I got my website, ronniecoleman.net, Instagram, Ronnie Coleman 8. You can pretty much get everything there for sure.
Okay. Ronnie, thank you very much.
Oh, no problem. Pleasure's been all mine. Thank you for having me, like I said.